We've got a whole heap of process things we've got to get through first. I can see the
two more seats over here. Another one there, two up there.
Are you doing?
Just a reminder to you, if you haven't registered, in order to take part in the decision making, you need to have registered and 50 card. Somebody put up what it should look like? Yeah, like that. The table temporary registration template is still there. So Haere Tiko, Tiki Gold.
Over here.
Oh, it's over here, sorry. Just while we're doing that, so we're leaving it open for a little while longer, just to give everybody the opportunity to register. Hotel Mati Mati. Brian. So just for your information today, sitting in, we've got our TTK observers. We also have various others taking part in today, so just if you could just make sure you're in a good comfortable space that you can see. And we're just about ready to kick off.
You hold the pens.
For reference, this isn't the main one, that's the main one.
It'll come into its own. Yeah, Nikki's writing it up.
Tēnā tātou e te whare. Ko tai tātou, ko tai te wā ki te ata whiriwhiri ngā kōrero, ngā whakaro mo tā tātou kaupapa. Hoi nāna hui hui a mai rā tātou, i runga i te rangi Māori e hui hui a mai rā tātou, i runga i te koa, te whanaumatanga, te tahi ki te tahi. Nō reira, tēnā tātou. So at this time, from the taumata, I'll give it over to Vaughan, who's the chairperson, and he will explain the way that we will be conducted today by introducing our facilitators. Kia ora, hui mai no tātou.
Kia ora whānau. My name's Vaughan Potter from Whakapara Ngāti Hau. Recently in November we had a hui hapu at Whakapara
and somehow I ended up as the chairperson for today. So, I guess it's normal rules, one person speaking for 5 minutes, I believe the gap is. There's no yelling, no screaming, no fighting, no stretching. We're here to make a decision on one thing, and that's the mandate. So from here, I'm going to hand you over to Cameron and Pauline. They're going to facilitate this week and move us in and out of the right direction to get it to a point where we can take a vote. So please, whānau, kick back, relax, and enjoy. Come on.
Tēnā tātou katoa, ko pēhia o i kaku marae. No konei aha, ko tōne hoka tōku ingoa, ko au te tahi o kuia kaumātua o te marae nei. Nō reira e mihi kawana kia koutou katoa, koutou aku rahu o Mātiha. Nō reira tēnā tātou katoa.
Kia ora tātou katoa, Cameron Hapu i tōku ingoa, no te awa motu, no te rohe o Tuenui, me Ngāti Apukura, he tau iwi Hau. Engari, i ngā tau i mua, nā kui tūtaki etahi o koutou, i rungi i te mahi o te Whiriwhino o Māori me te Waitangi Karino hoki. Tēnei tōku mihi kia koutou katoa, kia koutou te mana mo tēnei rā, he hongone tōku ki te tū, ki te awhi, ki te taha o te whai te tōna ki te rangi. Engari, kia ora tātou.
Kia ora, Cameron.
So we're here today with specific things in mind to get through a number of issues, and more particularly the big issue, which is the evolving mandate, of which we're all, as a hapu of Ngāti Hau, making a decision on today. So you know that there have been we get two bites of the cherry. One is individual and as a hapu. And this is what this hui is about today. Te hui hapu o Ngāti Hau. So Vaughn's right, we do have a lineup of speakers who have nominated forward to do that. We're going to try and give as much time as possible for those from the floor as well. We want to be able to have the person who is standing be able to have their time there. We will be calling you to note at 5 minutes, and we'll move on. We are asking too that we're cognizant of that we think about. If your point has been made, we don't need 10 people to tautoko it. So the point's made, we're going to have all the points put up here. So by the time we come to vote, we should see them. If either of us are aware that you're making a point again, we'll ask you, Matua, Whaia, we thank you for tautoko this point, do you have another? If not, so we can move through. So it's not about hurrying us along, but it is about being efficient with our time. So we've got a few issues, a little bit of housekeeping that always needs to be done before you actually get to the real thing, or to the big thing of the day. So we're going to go through each part. You'll see on the, as we go through, you'll see it flashed up there on the PowerPoint, so you know where we're at. We will try and signal everything before we get to it. So you know what's coming, you know where we're at that particular time, and you'll know when we've finished that, then we'll move on to the next thing. He pai ana tērā. Ai, kia ora tātou.
Probably just one thing for, we're trying to make sure our online viewers can participate, at least will be present for this. So if you go to YouTube, and you can text this out to whānau who are trying to catch up, if you go to YouTube and Google Nikki Wakefield, and that spelling is there, you'll see the stream that she's posted up, and they can join from there.
Apply. If by any chance you do not and you stand to talk, please signal if you don't want to record it or record it, so we can take that action, so that we can, you know, we acknowledge everyone has their right to privacy, and so, but just signal, not halfway through and just sort of, you know, we just need clear communication, and that will be fine. Yeah? Okay. Here we go.
Alright, Gilbert. So, this is the sequence for the hui that we have today. There are a number of resolutions that we need to step through, a number of things we need to consider before we get to the main Hapu decision, which deals with the evolved mandate proposal. So those three things are these, and you can see them headed up there. The tikanga around indicating support for the proposal or the resolution. The decision at the Hapu Hui that have been held today, that a show of hands was the most appropriate format. In accordance with that, we've just made your hands slightly more visible. So you have your registration cards, and that's effectively what you will use when we come to the stage to vote.
So it's only about holding the card up. Your number is not recorded against a yes or a no. It really is just to identify those hands who have registered and come through the process that was set down, and just so that you can make it easier for us. So we want today to know whether that is still the thought, whether that is fine, that any decision making is by majority vote, show of hands. So this will be your first time that you'll be able to exercise your little paper. So, you know, keep going, you know, so.
Oh, just before we go into that, Nikki, can you confirm how many registrations we have in this stage?
And so at each resolution, the whiteboard will be cleared and we'll make points as we go along so you can see what points have come off the board. And then at the end of that, we will make a decision together.
Second resolution relates to the
We're just going to do it one resolution at a time. Do you mind going? Yeah, so go back. Is there any corded or two, or if you want to, you can talk to this or not, and then we'll make the points, rowing them all, we'll write them on the board, and then at the end of that, we will exhaust it, that corded, or then we will make the decision. Nick? Alright, Hannah, go ahead.
Is there room for ballot votes? Is there an offer, is there a position to allow a ballot vote as well, or instead of?
If this motion was negative, if people didn't want to follow this tikanga, then we would move to other options.
I think it would have been nice if all the options were put up.
Well, there's a number of options, so, you know, we just, this has come out of hui that, because there's been many hui that have been held to determine what the process would be today. And out of those came the corridor of show of hands. So we're just going back to confirm that that is the feeling of the meeting today, to confirm that. If it's not, then we have to then make, you know, we would have to look at another way. And other things that had been entered in were moving people from one side of the hall to the other, or to the room to another, to identify holes of voting. Others are around a secret ballot, which is, I think, what you're talking about. Did someone turn their phone off? Or at least put it on vibrate? Or this way, which was seen as the optimum for today. But, kei a koutou tērā.
Tōna tātou te rāne reo whakapara, Ngāti Hau. I want to move the motion to approve that.
So we're tautoko for this motion.
Brandon Edwards, second.
So we've got the motion as it is. It's been supported by Brandon and Waitara from Whakapara. We have had a query about other options as well.
I'd like to speak to the motion. Kia ora tātou, Huhana Linden of Whakapara. I support the motion. Having attended the Hui Hapu to discuss tikanga, I'm really pleased that we have got a show of hands, but that this is available as well as a visual aid to help in the count. So I total all the resolution.
So the card is a different part of that, so yep. Any other points other than what have already been made and supported? I'll take it as a no. Let's have a look at the points that have been made there. You've heard it for yourself. Are we ready to put that that motion that's on the floor to a decision? All right. So let's, all those in favour of resolution 1, the decision making is by majority vote, show of hands. All those in favour who say yes, please raise your and please hold it there while we count them. Aroha mai, Anna. Aroha mai.
If you ask for the people that vote against it, you might get a shame.
Is that okay? I just want to make sure that that's okay. Yeah, you are our observers and just there to make sure we're doing everything with tika. Okay, those who are voting no to the resolution, please raise your hand. Hau Hui. So we can say by that that it is unanimous in favour. Well done, folks. Resolution 2. We've now progressed. It's a bit like one of those games. We're going to the next level. Up to the next level, we're at resolution 2. That eligibility to participate in the Ngāti Hau decision today is defined as you are 18 years or older, and so that's a mandatory. You must be 18, and you descend from kahukuri, or you descend from a Ngāti Hau tūpuna named as Ngāti Hau in the original block title, or you associate with one of the Ngāti Hau marae, te Iawari, Whakapara, Akerama, Marumata, I think there is an issue, and I've heard from coming through in regard to Omanai. I'm only saying that because that's what I've heard. So is there a initially that Omanai wasn't on those names? So is there something that we need to do? I believe we're just inside the hui to kōrero e pānaki tērā. So my understanding is you don't have to have all three. You can have one of the three. You've got to be 18, that's not counted, but you can be a descendant of Kahukuri, or you descend from a tūpuna of Ngāti Hau in the original block titles, or you associate with one of the Ngāti Hau marae, and it's a tuatahi, it was those ones that are named, and Omanai wasn't on those names. So,
Number 4. Number 4, like a husband that you've married is associated. Is that you?
Because as it reads there, it would say associate. We have a number of associates who we see as part of that. Is that who we're calling, or who come under that? We might have to change the kupu so that we can be more precise with that. A member of the marae? No.
Miss Thomas will be a member.
Yes. So, whakapapa. Whakapapa to one of the marae? Yeah, so Cameron will amend it.
And or, can we have the 18, from the 18 go and or, so it's inclusive of kahukuri, 30 of the tūpuna.
Yes. So and or, so it doesn't, you can have all three, and the number of you in this room will hit all of those tick boxes. all of those criteria, and some will only have one. One or three, you only need one.
Hello, Pauline.
Oh, sorry, Teresa, sorry.
I just, that's inclusive of whāngai, eh? And I mean whāngai, not adopted. Because I was at that hui when we discussed whāngai, and I'm pretty certain we agreed whāngai was inclusive. Because he had ke te whāngai ki te adopted, eh?
Kōrero mai?
Just talking about the Omanai marae, when we went to the hui at Waipatapata, the people who called today, come today, went at that hui. And at the hui at Waipatapata, and just giving an example, the Ngāti Hau members that were in our group that went up, they voted. So the Ngāti Hau from Kakapara, they voted in that, they voted in that election up there at Waipatapata as Ngāti Hau. So I'm not too sure what they will do with the Omanai
Is there rationale why they shouldn't, why those who whakapapa or come from Omanai shouldn't vote in, or shouldn't take part in the decision making of today? That might be more the point.
We're all Manaia. All these people right here, we're the one that you guys all So basically what happened was we weren't able to attend. There's been approximately 30 hui from October to December. We're just here as a representation of the collective of our whenua. We're not here to make any decision about anyone else's land. But the hui that should have been made available to us, we were squashed from that hui. Okay? So basically what's happened is some from Kaharo, some from Omanai, accept settlement. They've had a lot of grievances. They've been waiting a long time to get this stuff addressed. And that's kept their point. We're perfectly okay with our whānau that want to go on that side of the fence. But not all of us accept settlement. Not all of us agree with the process. Not all of us agree with the system, with the way that they're doing it. And the places where we're supposed to have a space to present our voice, to present our grievance, we get kicked out of the hui. We can't go there, we can't go there. As a matter of fact, the Office of Treaty Settlements website has put on their website that our hui was meant to be scheduled on the 7th of December. They've rescheduled it, so there's no more hui. The Office of Treaty Settlements, I've got the paperwork here, I've brought all the paperwork finally because if I haven't got it in writing, I'm talking shit. Okay? So I've got the paper trail. Office of Treaty Settlements sent us here. Because there's no other space for us to have a say in what happens to our whenua. That's all why we're here, Whānau. Kia ora mai no tātou katoa. Nā tēnā koutou e ngā tuakana. Me mai ngā kōrero ngā mātua Uncle Benma, kau e tātou e ware ki ngā tuakana kei Omanai rātou. E noho ana. I was just saying that I remember Uncle Ben and them talking about our tuakana that stayed up in Omanai. We used to talk on that taumata when you told us don't forget about our tuakana up in Omanai. In terms of the whakapapa, rere ki anō te whakapapa. We had a wānanga with Pakorepa. He come down to one of our Ngāti Hau wānanga and he was giving us the whakapapa.
because our whanangas up in Omanai don't come down from Kahukuri. And if you were to take on board what they said in the tribunal hearing, they tell us that the hau of Ngāti Hau come from Rahiri's mother, Te Hau Angia. If that's the case, we're all Ngāti Hau. But in our case, the kōrero comes that where we come down from Kahukuri and from his father Hau Takoe. Another name sometimes heard, Hau Kaiwera. But it's from that tupuna that our Ngāti Hau comes about. I put down a whakapapa at our whakatau today, which I heard the waia to begin that whakapapa, and I think it went down to Kahukuri. So from that, I brought it right down to Te Ruhi, to Mokonuiarangi, to Ruku, which, and this is not my kōrero, this is the kōrero that our tupuna put down in the Māori Land Court, and it's recorded in the minutes. It was also the kōrero, the whakapapa that we put up in our tribunal claims. Kore koutou ngā tuakana. But for the whakapapa saru, e rere ke. So I'm just putting the information up. People can base their decision on that should they choose to. Kia ora tātou.
Tau tera mai ngā iwi, tātou e. Tau tera mai ngā iwi, tātou e. Whai a te maramana, me te aroha e mai, kia kutaputai, kia kutaia, tātou e. Ia we! Tātou e. Nā te kora.
I'd like to talk about point 2, please. I'd like point 2 taken out completely and just go on to point 3. And if we decide to keep it in, I want Patuane's name put there, please. If you descend from Kahukuri, Patuane, or number 3.
So there is some, there's a big, number 3 is a big catch-all, isn't it?
That's right. It's a big catch-all.
So it renders number 2
That's right.
redundant. And if, well, not redundant, but just it doesn't, it's sort of saying that something else. We could add in a whole lot of other tupuna. What are the feelings around taking out number 2 and going with 3 and 4? So 1, 3, and 4. If it's not, then me too ki te whamaramu.
Kia ora tātou, hurihana anō, ki hiana hau kia waiho a kahukuri ki kona, aroha mai, ko kahukuri te tūpuna. Nō reira me waiho ake a kahukuri ki kona, I te mea, me kōrero Pākehā. I would like to propose to the hui that we keep kahukuri there as our tūpuna, because we have provision within number 3 for other tūpuna of Ngāti Hau. But I would not want to be remiss and remove kahukuri as our tūpuna rongonui. That's my whakaaro.
Kia ora.
I take tuko what you are saying. That's the reason why I said I'd like to see Patuane in there. Because I come from Patuane. So I don't have a problem with number 2 staying there, so long as Patuane's name is up there. Kia ora.
Aloha mai. Yeah, he never. That's not an issue. All of Patuane's descendants are Ngāti Hau anyway. All of Patuane's descendants are Ngāti Hau. Patuane is Ngāti Hau. The descendants of Ngāti Hau should have been up at that hui and Waipata Pata. I know the notice wasn't very good, which includes me. I wasn't there. I must have either moaned to somebody or just accepted what it went down. but there's no need for Patuone to go up there. All of the descendants of Patuone are all Ngāti Hau anyway. This is the Ngāti Hau Hui. We're all covered by Kahupuri. All of the descendants of Patuone are covered by Kahupuri. Kia ora tātou.
We'll come back to you, Te Whare, without labouring it too much. We've heard both sides of that corridor, and it is about making sure, see, at the heart of this, it's about who's included. So even with, as you say, with Patuone not specifically mentioned, Tōna uri come in and are included under Kahupuri. Katua. And then those that aren't, and there are some who don't whakapapa to Kahupuri, there is some descent who don't. Then we've got who come from a Ngāti Hau tūpuna named as Ngāti Hau in the original block. So again, going out to widen it for inclusion. And then if you can whakapapa to one of the Ngāti Hau marae on that list, then that's another catchment where you can be caught in there. Lorraine.
Kia ora, Lorraine Toki Whakapara. I think we need to be really, really careful that we don't get caught up in what the Crown wants us to do. So these people from Omanaya missed an opportunity or got left out, but this is about us being Ngāti Hau. So I think we should get on with it. Let them be a part of this hui.
Okay, so are we in a position to go for that to do the resolution as it's there, rewritten, for the inclusion of our Pūkana and Omanaya? Okay, so let's have a go with our cardies anō.
Just again, Maureen. Those ones again.
Oh, are we extending now? Are we extending the marae to include Omanaya, or are we just using 3 as the catch-all for this one more thing? I don't mean to prolong it.
Just use 3.
Okay, just use 3. Okay, no. All right. So we're going to the resolution as it is up here. Here are the points that have been made and that you've heard. All those in favour, please raise your hands. Okay, so let's go for all those who are against the resolution as it is there. Please raise your cards. E toru e whā. Card. You need your card. So you need to see your card.
And I've just talked about put thumbs down there.
You can't do that.
No, can't. Wait on. Let's just get clear. Put your hands down. From the outset, we've already decided on the process, which is going to be the register. You get the card. You lift your card as your vote. The card will be counted. Okay? As your hand. All right. So can I please have all those against the motion? Cards up. Emma. Oh. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on this side. Thank you. 6. So that motion has been passed. That resolution is passed. And we're moving to resolution number 3.
Do we want to call for any abstainers just in case?
Abstainers on a 6-2. How many people are in here?
That's right.
I think we got it. Just so for process, any abstaining from the vote today for this resolution? No abstentions noted.
We have one here.
1 abstention. Okay, come on. Let's go to resolution number 3. Now this has come out of the fact that there are 2 lots of plotting going on. One is an individual, which you should have either done through online or your postal vote, and you've still got till tomorrow to register a special vote if you haven't done that. And today's Hapu decision. Now that resolution says that Ngāti Hau does not agree to include the individual votes So if you put no or yes on your individual vote and it's gone into the, to where you see the elections NZ, that could be counted as part of this vote. In the preliminary meetings coming up to this meeting, it was decided that Ngāti Hau, or this is the resolution, that Ngāti Hau does not agree to include the individual votes as part of the Hapu decision. That means that the decision for the Hapu will be made by us here. So if you don't agree with it, what that will mean is that we will count all those, we'll have to wait until all that count is done and those will get added before we know what our Hapu decision is. So if we're going with this, we make the decision here today, in this phase, with all of you. If this resolution is not passed or is not agreed to, then we won't be able to confirm a decision until the final tally of individual votes. So that's the resolution. Kōrero mai, me he whakaaro wau. Or are we ready to?
Voting without people being present is how we got cut out of our Hapu Hui. That's how we got chopped out of it. That's why we got no say. We got land, but we got no say. We pay tax, but we got no mana. We nothing. We just got excluded because the people that was in the house decided to carry on without the one that went in the house.
Thank you. So what you're saying is that the invisible ones, actually, if they're not here, then
their vote still counts. Yeah. The voice is still just as important as us here. They're not here and they're not getting no representation, so we have to wait for the vote to come in to see where they stand on the matter.
But that's exactly what we're asking here. Do we want to do that or not? This resolution says that Ngāti Hau does not agree to include those votes. That's the one we've got up in front of us. Yeah.
I don't want to interrupt the flow, but just about 5 minutes ago we had another whanaunga into the room after registrations had closed. So I'm looking for support from the whare to register our whanaunga who has arrived.
Any problem with us registering the whanaunga that's arrived?
After one of the votes.
Yeah, after one of the votes, well they can't retrospectively, but they can going forward.
Going forward.
Going forward.
Do we want to clarify that with a
If we didn't do that, we would be open for going over the hui and over the hui and over the hui when the hui's finished. And we, so we acknowledge te painga mai o te whanaunga here, kia rehita, so that they can register and take part in the things going forward. Hau
just to make sure we kosher for our hui and numbers and so on, could we just get a quick aye? Majority to accept one last registration up into the room 5 minutes ago.
Is anybody opposed to that?
It's just unanimous. I tautoko that, but supporting it, what if we get another one that turns up in another 10 minutes and another 10 minutes? If they all part of that, if they all comply with that eligibility, by accepting one, you must accept the others if they come. But there must be.
I think there's a need to have a cut off, and we're cutting off. I would suggest that we cut off now, and that anyone who comes now has really come extremely late for the meeting, and I just don't have to rely on the whanaungatanga to carry this. Am I right or wrong? Or else we're going to be here all day. We're accepted that the registration will go ahead. We've got that, that'll happen. We're going to close registrations again, they're closed, and we won't be opening them up for anybody else.
I move that we close the registrations.
Yeah. All those in favour say aye. Aye. Right. All those against? One. We're not on the mandate yet. We're not in the mandate.
Order, please. Order.
So we come back to our resolution 3 that Ngāti Hau does not agree to include individual votes as part of the Hapu decision. We're going to make a decision now.
I wanted to talk to that.
Kia ora.
And I wanted to get up to Tautoko the brother.
That's okay, unless you're making a different.
Yes, I am.
Hau Hui.
I am. And I'm getting up to Tautoko with, there's been previous discussions that have been had. And the point that was made at previous meetings was to allow our whanaunga who have that eligibility criteria the opportunity to participate. That was it. There was at one time we were talking about the ability of voting by Skype, whether that was fully endorsed at the end of the day, but then Ropu Tūhono came up with a position that it was not permitted. And so it changed. We therefore weren't allowed to allow the Skype votes to go ahead, but it was on the basis of the position to allow our descendants, wherever they lived in the world, the opportunity to participate. Kia ora tātou.
Still on this resolution.
Kia ora no tātou katoa, he whakaaro tāku e pāna ki tēnei whakataunga. For myself, I support the resolution following our Hui Hapu process where we considered this issue a lot. And the reason why I support excluding individual votes from this process is look at Ngāti Hau. This whare is full. This whare is present and our whānau have come from near and far. Every Ngāti Hau iri gets an individual vote. So you get to make your choice, yes or no, as individuals. But you, Te Tini o Ngāti Hau, are here. And I acknowledge you. And if you want to be a part of the Hapu decision-making process, you come to the Hui. For me, where the individual vote, this is only a new option whānau. This only just came about last week. So let's not think that this was at the beginning of the process. So this option was only just given to us for the Hui Hapu decision-making process. But many of our Hapu have already had their Hui and did not have this option. So they went in and they had their Hui and they made their decision. Engari Hui Kwarua, next minute it's in. But also, as myself, I share with you, I did not include my Hapu on my vote. I protect my Hapu and my whakapapa in my individual vote. Because I don't want them to know my Hapu. But had I known that this option was available now, I could have actually ticked those boxes. Because that was not an option when I voted. So I'm concerned, you know, because I was in Rarotonga 2 days ago. So I came back for our Hui. But I would have participated via the YouTube. And I would seek to plug in. But I would trust in you as my whānau to make the decision for me. I ka hore rānei. Because you are here and you're going to debate the issues and you're going to work through it. And as an idiot, if I wasn't here and I never got back, I would trust you guys to make that for me because I'll own my I or my kahore in the individual vote. So I move resolution that we actually endorse this. Te tini o Ngāti Hau ki konei. I mihi to you, look at how big our players. Massive, massive turnout. And all of our whānau can plug in right now. Ahakoa, no tawhiti, no tarawahi, plug in. Engari kei a koutou te mana, kei konei koutou hei kamohi mō rātou, mōku ake anō. Ka mihi atu kia koutou. Kia ora tātou.
I'd like to know if that Hapu that's visiting us from Manaia, are they happy with that decision? And they understand that you can include your vote today on behalf of the Hapu.
What I think today, Whānau, is irrelevant because we're here to talk on you, what you think.
Kia ora, bro.
It's important for you too. If you want to
vote. You understand you can vote today?
We've done that one, we passed that resolution, that was resolution 2. We're up to number 3, are there any more talk from the floor, kōrero from the floor? Lorraine?
I'm just a little bit concerned about those who have already cast their vote, that they haven't had a chance to consider what we're putting up here today. I acknowledge Huhana, you're saying our whare is full. Yes and no. Yes and no. On a good day it's full, on a bad day we don't get to be bothered with too much. But those who have already voted, those who have already voted are not aware of this vote going up now, so it puts them in an awkward position. Be mindful of that.
I'm just relaying some kōrero back from some of my whānau who are in Australia, and they're really interested and want to participate in the Hapu decisions. And the kōrero that I got back from them is, if you exclude us from the ability to participate in this Hapu decision by not including our individual votes, when you need us to support you when it comes in the future, are you going to come to us and then ask us to give you our names so that you can add our names to boost up the numbers of the Hapu? So I just think we need to think carefully about that. If we're excluding the individual votes now for those whānau that live overseas who are supporting our work, when we come into the future and we want to use their names to boost our numbers, are we going to go back to them and say, we want you now? Kia ora.
I'll just go off. I'll go off Paul.
Kia ora tātou, Brandon Edwards, whakapara. I just stand to tautoko Huhana's kōrero.
Are you making a new point?
I am making a new point.
Okay, make the new point.
Yeah, the new point is we already have an individual process, the private ballot for the individual vote. This is a different process. By combining the individual vote with the Hapu process, it's making it the same process. The Hapu process is a different process. Kanohi ki te kanohi, I roto i te whare. Kia ora tātou.
Teresa?
No, ori tiki wana kōrero.
Hapai? Te para?
I just want to go back over the Hapu. I puta mai tātou mai te kōhau kotahi. Kātahi ko Hapu. We are a Hapu. We come from whakapapa, whether we are here or not. So the Hapu vote belongs to all that belong to that Hapu. One other point is, whenua ki te whenua, I rongo ai ngā kōrero. You have to be standing on your whenua to make that Hapu decision. Kanohi ki te kanohi, face to face, ka pai, tautoko. That whenua, and I'm just going to talk about part whānau, whenua that they were born with is in our whenua here. Tō rātou mana te hoki mai, kei roto tō rātou whenua. Their whenua is already here. When they were born, it was planted in our whenua here. So for me, when we went to our Hau Hui, we talked about inclusivity. And manaki ki te tangata. We talked about including our whānau, so I tautoko that, but I also will tautoko what the outcome is today.
Is there any other before I return to Huhana? No one? Yes, what's yes, you can, but as long as it's a new point and we're not labouring over old ones. One's already made.
Oh no, I got 20 jobs today, and but I do want to just quickly share. When the Waitangi Tribunal set the threshold for Hapu support, Hapu rangatiratanga was defined as a defining thing about Ngāpuhi, and they protected us in their inquiry into the Ngāpuhi mandate, and they set very clear expectations on how to ensure Hapu support for a mandate, for a negotiations mandate. And in that they set a threshold of 65% of Hapu, of Ngāpuhi, would be an adequate threshold to determine the level of Hapu support for a mandate process. they also were very clear in that a hapu decision is not an individual vote process, because that was what been on the affairs in the past. So I just want to point that out. And the second thing is that there was an administration error when the postal ballots went out. So Ngāti Hau has nearly 2,000 members registered on the Runanga database, and many of them, probably not all of them, but many of them received postal ballots, all this process for their individual vote. And on that piece of paper, it provided a tick box for whānau to identify with their hapu. It did not include a tick box for Ngāti Hau. It didn't. It included a tick box for Ngāti Hau ki Umanaya, and it included a tick box for Ngāti Hau ki Whakapara. And so that's an administrative error, which means that all those who received the postal ballot, perhaps because their hapu wasn't there for whatever reason, but also because they didn't know that their response was going to contribute to the hapu decision. Those are two core reasons I think that as a hapu we need to protect all of Ngāti Hau by not including the individual vote option. I must also note we have received an official apology from Te Rauki Tūhono about that. Nonetheless, they have declared they will not recall the postal votes. We received that response 2 days ago. Kia ora.
So 2,000 people never got a vote.
So are we near to make a decision on this?
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to call a decision to look here that Ngāti Hau does not agree to include individual votes as part of the hapu decision. All those against, because that's been the way, against that. It's just let's go. All those against, please raise your hand.
So we're just going to count section by section.
You need to hold your card, Whānau.
Against. If you're against this, it will mean that they're agreeing that Ngāti Hau does agree to the individual vote. Okay, so now let's put it, all those in favour of the resolution as is there on the board. Hands up. We're just going to count it section by section. Okay, it's taken as a majority, and there was 5 from our observers. Okay, could I have those who may have abstained from that vote? Raise your card. Abstentions? Putani.
Always
Aye. Alright, let's move to resolution number 4. We're going well, Whānau, going well. A resolution has already been moved and placed on here. It's not so much a motion or it's a resolution that we put into the floor. Resolution 4. Here's the big question of the day, the one we've been waiting for. Does Ngāti Hau support the evolved mandate as set out in the information booklet to represent all of Ngāpuhi, including Ngā Hapu o Ngāpuhi, in negotiations with the Crown for the comprehensive settlement of all historical claims and Crown breaches of Te Tiriti o Waitangi, the Treaty of Waitangi. That is the resolution before us. It is now open for discussion. We have some speakers who have already grabbed the speaker spot, and it's going to go in order, so we've got an order here. The first is the Ngāti Hau Trust Board. And there are about 12 groups that have already put in, and then you will also get an opportunity if there are new points.
Kia ora whānau. Vaughan Kora, Chairperson of Ngāti Hau Trust Board. We, the Trust Board of Ngāti Hau, had a meeting in November and we decided to reject this in its entirety. We did not seek sovereignty and we will not seek sovereignty. We reject this in its entirety. Kia ora.
I was just reminding you too, the maximum is 5 minutes.
Ko Brandon Edwards tōku ingoa, e uri a hau, o e ru nehua, ko te rawa ko te tawaka hohaia, no whakapara a hau. Today I'll talk briefly about the Ngāti Hau position on sovereignty and the evolved mandate. The key Ngāti Hau position on sovereignty is we will not agree to any arrangement which would compromise our sovereignty, including, without limitation, any full and final settlement. Sovereignty is not negotiable. By maintaining this position over the last 2 years, Ngāti Hau has drawn a clear line in the sand in terms of our involvement in this process. For Ngāti Hau, sovereignty is not negotiable.
So we've made the sovereignty point, we moved to your next.
I believe the evolved mandate is contrary to the Ngāti Hau position on sovereignty because under the evolved mandate, Ngāti Hau sovereignty is negotiable. Under the evolved mandate, negotiators are responsible for negotiating and agreeing cultural and commercial redress, amongst other things. However, if the negotiation comes down to a choice between sovereignty and cultural and commercial redress, which of course it will, there is nothing in the evolved mandate which would prevent negotiators from choosing cultural and commercial redress over sovereignty. There is no clear line in the sand. Under the evolved mandate, therefore, sovereignty is negotiable. By the end of this meeting, we need to decide yes or no to the question over there. And I just want to take a minute to read it. Does Ngāti Hau support the evolved mandate as set out in the information booklet to represent Hau Hui, including Ngā Hapu o Hau Hui, in negotiations with the Crown for the comprehensive settlement of all Ngā Hui historical claims and Crown breaches against Te Tiriti o Waitangi? It is therefore clear from this question alone, that the evolved mandate, under the evolved mandate, sovereignty is negotiable.
Thank you. Sovereignty is negotiable. I need you to move that along because you've made your point. I think
You've got 5 minutes.
5 minutes.
Any mandate with the purpose to negotiate the comprehensive settlement of all Ngā Hui historical claims is less about the Crown redressing Ngā Hui losses and more about the Crown buying Ngā Hui sovereignty. The Crown knows Ngā Hui did not cede sovereignty in 1840, and it knows Ngā Hui has not ceded sovereignty since. The Crown also knows Ngā Hui can only cede sovereignty by agreement, and this is precisely what the Crown intends to achieve under a comprehensive settlement of all Ngā Hui historical claims. In summary, under the Ngāti Hau position on sovereignty, sovereignty is not negotiable. And under the evolved mandate, sovereignty is negotiable. Therefore, I think Ngāti Hau should decide no to the evolved mandate. In closing, I'm proud to be Ngāti Hau. I'm grateful for the legacy our tūpuna have left us, e whakaputanga me te tiriti. I know without a shadow of a doubt that when our tūpuna signed their whakaputanga me te tiriti, they were thinking of us. I want to honour them by honouring their legacy. I want to move forward to a tomorrow where the vision they had for us is our reality. Where Ngāti Hau determines Ngāti Hau's destiny. And where Ngāti Hau achieves our true potential as Ngāti Hau. In terms of this process, I want Ngāti Hau to be at the table, but I don't want Ngāti Hau to be just at any table. I want Ngāti Hau to be at the right table and on the right terms, so Ngāti Hau can achieve the best outcome for Ngāti Hau. Nō reira e te whānau, ko mutu taku kōrero, e midi ana kia tautau. E midi ana kia tātou tūpuna mō o rātou taonga, I tuku iho kia tātou katoa. E whakaputanga me te tiriti. Kia tūkaha tātou I oto I te kaupapa o e nei taonga. Mō ake tonu atu. Tēnā tātou katoa.
Cracking pace at 4 minutes 38 now we have Helen Holiday.
Some of what I already had has already been said, so this will be short and sweet. I first became a trustee of the trustee of the late 1980s. At that time we had Hapu and Hui. They were all the trustees of the Ngāti Trust. I was the board. My job was to make the team. I was pleased to do that because I was bored. But anyway, it was our Hapu and Hui that brought about this Y246 claim. 3 of them are now writing this Waikato over the back. But they kept on talking about having this forestry return. And I cannot for the life of me see any reason why we should be giving it to somebody to control and tackle it. This is what these old people wanted, to have these lands returned to Ngāti Hau. So even though that they're deceased, I remember what they said, and I still support what they said. So I'm hoping everybody will vote no today.
Hau mai ki te ātāmira ko Huhana.
Kia ora no tātou katoa, te tini o Ngāti Hau. A lot of my kōrero has been shared, and so I celebrate those who have taken the time to put their hands up to speak. But what I do want to share with the Hui is the journey of Ngāti Hau in the Waitangi Tribunal process. And in fact, that started in the 1990s, Kaipara Stage 3 inquiry, and then reached into Te Paparahi o Te Raki. Stage 1 on he whakaputanga me te tiriti o Waitangi. Stage 2, our local hearings. So I pay tribute to all of our whānau who participated, those who attended the hearings, those that put the effort in for the evidence that was presented, to Akira Mamarai for hosting. That was an amazing experience to watch the way that we moved together as Ngāti Hau. Despite the heat and the fans, and then, you know, the toilets, the evolutions, we had issues, the catering, the Alba transfer that took place, Ranginui Walker with us, our baby area for our tamariki, Ngāti Hau was united. So what I want to do is encourage us today to really consider about being united in this decision and work really hard as Ngāti Hau today to come to that decision together, but also not to forget about our hapu of whāngarei. Ngāti Hau has been a leader within the claimant community and the whāngarei tai whenua over a number of years. And in fact, I would argue, not just being a one-eyed Ngāti Hau today, is that Ngāti Hau has been a leader in that space because we've had hapu positions for the last 2 years that have put a pou whenua in the ground, that have led others to look at that beacon that Ngāti Hau has set. And that Ngāti Hau has been clear on the importance of he whakaputanga me te tiriti o Waitangi. And the findings of the Stage 1 report on Ngāpuhi speech, our kaumātua kuia were all involved in that report. And in fact, I go on to say Ngāti Hau is pretty awesome in this space. But I want to let you know, the hapu of whāngarei are rejecting this proposal. We have had Te Waireki, Ngāti Korora, Ngāti Takapari reject the proposal yesterday. We have had Katu Harakeke this morning reject the proposal. Te Orewai, Maitai reject the proposal. We've got Ngāti Kahu, Ngāti Hau to make decisions on this. And Te Parawhau on Friday te parawhau. That's sort of like the, I'm not being mean as a wāngai te parawhau, but I was, worried about te parawhau. But on Friday, we all met at Otaika Valley Hall, and te parawhau was together, and we all decided to reject this proposal. So what I want to do is just share with you, whānau, that this is actually not just about Ngāti Hau, but how do we move together with our allied hapu in our rohe. Sharing with you, my vision is about a strong Ngāti Hau, but a strong Ngāti Hau working in kotahitanga, te whakakotahitanga o ngā hapu o whāngarei, te mana motuhake o ngā hapu o whāngarei, and that we move forward together. Everyone else is rejected. I'm just putting it out there, whānau. Ngāti Kahu is on Tuesday night. Ngāti Kahu o Toromare. I'm worried about that. But that's another story, another day, another week. But what I'm saying is, whānau, there's a movement, and we're moving together. And look at the turnout today. It shows Ngāti Hau is plugged in, and we're ready to make decisions on our future. Nō reira, kia kaha tātou, kia maia. Let's think about what's best for our people, and who we can work together in terms of us first identifying what our breaches are and what our not negotiables are, and then moving forward together as ngā hapu o whāngarei with Ngāti Hau at the front. Now, I just want to remind us, 2013, the Crown, after we had our hearings at Fora North, gave the hapu of whāngarei a concession. That's a really big deal. By giving a concession on the fact that the Crown, through its acts and omissions, made us, the hapu of whāngarei, virtually landless. Virtually landless. That's a key negotiation point for us as Ngāti Hau. Because we're only about 4% of land ownership in Whangarei district. E tātou mā. We are a landless people, and it is best that we, as Whangarei mā Whangarei anō, Whangarei e kōrero e pāna ki tēnei take nui. Kawa e waiho mō te tahi atu, hei kawe i tērā kaupapa. Kia ū ki te whakapono. Kia mau ki te tika e Ngāti Hau. Kia ora no tātou katoa.
Okay, we have Jade. Tamarine.
Kia ora koutou, my name is Jade Kake, I'm from here. Oh, can you hear me? I'm looking at my koroa at the moment as I speak. So I just wanted to speak quickly to 3 points. And I will start with actually, I haven't cast my individual vote yet. And I said to all of my whānau who are not here, don't cast your vote yet, wait for our Hau Hui, and we'll vote in support of what our Hau Hui has to say. So that's what we're doing as a whānau. So my first point is really about the proposal itself. I think there's 2 major issues with the proposal. Even though there's been a series of iterations, each one does get better. Each one does get better. There has been a lot of workful improvements. But the 2 key issues that have not been resolved appropriately are the one about Hapukutanga, which Brandon has already spoken to, and there's the other one around the centralised commercial redress being negotiated and held centrally. I think that's a problem because that's contrary to what our Hapu has been saying, and there was no willingness in that engagement process to revise that decision, although I heard at numerous Hapu that Hapu would like to see that decision revised. So I think that's an issue. The second point I wanted to raise is that, this is back to the Whakaputanga. We have our stage 1 findings, but the Crown isn't actually engaging with the stage 1 findings. They're not accepting them, and they're not giving us a pathway to look at how we transform our constitution to truly represent those founding documents that our children are signed up for. And secondly, we haven't got our stage 2 findings yet. They're ignoring our stage 1 findings, and we haven't finished the stage 2 process, and we're racing to negotiations. So how can we make a decision about commercial or cultural redress based on what we've lost if we don't fully understand what we have lost yet? And the third point is really about process. So as I said, I've been to many of these hui from August onwards, and it's been really, really rushed. It's been difficult to understand. There's a group of us who have been kaimaki for whānau tai whenua, and we set up a website and ran a social media campaign just trying to get everyone really well informed so our Hapu can make good decisions, so the individual members of our Hapu can make good decisions. But we didn't have any budget, we're just there for Aroha, and I'm linking to the team, particularly Ruhan and Nikki, who worked very, very hard. But the problem is we're talking to to our whānau and they're saying we don't know what's going on, it's too quick, it's too hard to make a decision. And so I think even if the proposal was really good and addressed those core issues, the fact that we're being ushered through this very rapid process is reason enough to reject and to pause, to allow us to get it right, because it's a lot better than it was, it keeps improving, but let's not accept it just because this is the best that we've had so far. Kia ora.
Dale Van England.
For Dale Van England, Hau, I guess I'm standing up here and I've listened to all the kōrero and I don't disagree with the kōrero and I totally support the fact that we didn't seek sovereignty. But I'm going to take a different tack for me. I think that we should have the courage to step into the ring and actually, all the kōrero that we have, there's no good talking to ourselves about it. I think that we need to actually step into the ring and talk to the Crown. There's nothing in that mandate that says that you have to agree to what the Crown is. There are opportunities in there for the Hapu to decide to change some of those things. And at the end of the day, it's Hapu led. It's not led by anybody else but the Hapu. And I think that, yes, we can wait and we can try and refine it a little bit more. We can try and push or force the Crown, but the Crown's not going to talk to us until we actually get into some sort of a negotiation progress. So I don't think that voting for the evolved mandate is a vote to sign away with sovereignty. I think all it is a vote to say that we're willing to talk to the Crown about the things that we think are important. And I believe that our tūpuna had the courage to speak to those people. And so I think that we should also have the courage to stand up and put forward our case. Nothing in that makes us, forces us to sign anything. We have the option to not sign those things. Kia ora.
Just a reminder, folks, we decided at the very beginning, let's give the person who's got the mic just that the chance to put their points. Our next speaker is Te Rā Nenhua. You're on the list.
Kia ora whānau. So I'm speaking in support of the evolved mandate. So back in the early 90s, at a hui we had of Ngāti Hau at Whakapara, I was tasked with the job, boy, go get that forest back. And Uncle Paul knows he was there. He even said, and I'll help you by blocking the road up with his truck. Anyway, I believe that we're able to maintain this Ngāti Hau position by sitting at the table, by talking with them, not disengaging with them, but engaging with them. Yeah, that's really all I've got to say. But the other point is that oh yeah. So I've been involved with I was involved with the Kaipara Inquiry. With Hapu, they were involved in from Pāngare. And I remember a kōrero at our Kaipara Stage 3 hearing that was held at Auckland Polytech. It was by our kaumātua Mohane Kingi. Tēnei wana kōrero, me whakakotahi, me whakakotahi, me whakakotahi. So he was saying 18 years ago, unite, unite, unite. It's taken us 18 years, we haven't quite united. Pono. That's been one of my angles for 18 years more for the Hapu o Whāngarei to unite. It got to a point last year where even one of our Hapu o Whāngarei were calling us Ngāti Hau imposters. I mean, if we want to unite, we haven't taken that anywhere. We haven't taken, I'm letting you know, because this is Ngāti Hau. So it's important that we, it is important that we unite, whether we are supporting it or not. I stand here to, even though I'm supporting it here today, whatever the outcome of the hui is today, I don't took all that, not a
You know, we had a
Geneva. E koni koe a.
Tēnā koutou katoa, ko te mea hau tak ene no aki ara.
O nei te microwave.
The microwave.
Sorry. Kia ora. I would just like us to think locally, act globally. One of the things that I've been doing last year I was down in the South Island for 6 months. I happened to spend some time down on Lucky Water, Stewart Island. I met a young man down there who was really passionate about his island. That he was really upset about the fact that Lucky Water did not sign the treaty. He was upset about the fact that even though they not signed the treaty, they really have got no right to any support. So any time, my tahu could cut them off. The other thing that really got to me, and I'm proud to be Ngāti Hau. When you're driving north and you look at that wall, the other side of Hikurangi, and you see our tohu, I tell you what, it's like I want to stop and, because I know we're there. The whole time I was down the South Island, not once, not anywhere did I see Hapu being acknowledged. Nowhere. So what I'm saying is, we're Hapu, we've got to think Hapu, we've got to be Hapu. And we want to be out here. And so for me, this is our opportunity. We're not going to get it again. Down there, everyone else has signed their settlement. They don't get, they're going to have to really fight hard, and so we've already started to do that. The other thing that used to happen down there, I can't. I'm in a big green bus, and I can't go in the bus. And on the front of the back, it's got nothing. I don't get nothing. Anyhow, everyone would come up to me and they say, you fellow, you're not doing, you're still fighting. You can't get anything right. All you want to do is fight. So I let them go on. Okay. You know, like leaves falling down and you know, they gather up and anyhow, I said, do you actually know what they're talking about? Do you know why we're doing this? So when I sit and listen to them and I say, okay, now you listen to me. The reason why we're doing this is because we want to get it right. We only get one chance. That's why we're taking time. I may not see it in my lifetime. It may not happen in my lifetime. But for me, it's about my Muslims. I want them to be proud. I want them to be driving all around and know that this will be Ngāti Hau, Ngāti Hau, Ngāti Hau. Not Ngāti. So that's what's happening down there, as I said. And for some of those hapu down there, I can feel their pain. Some of them were actually crying. So I say, oh, what are you? But I don't know. I don't know because you're not there. So that's the pain that I'm passing through here. I don't want that to be our pain. I don't want that to be our Muslim pain. We have an opportunity to make a difference. We have an opportunity to be recognised as Hapu. Take the opportunity. Act locally and think globally. Kia ora. Our next speaker is Thomas.
Kia ora tātou. I'm on Manaia, from Manaia, I read in Manaia, speak on Manaia, So, I don't have anything really, because when we came over here, one of the ladies down the back gracefully gave us a speaking spot, so thank you very much, Whānau. Also, on behalf of my whānau here, we also want to thank you for embracing us and welcoming us into this hui and allowing us to be a part of it, because our whānau is we're not a part of anything. So we're thankful and grateful to be here. I want to start off by seeing the brother, what's your name, sorry, bro?
Brandon.
Brandon Edwards. Brandon Edwards, he was standing up, he had this flag on his t-shirt. I've seen it around there's a few of you fellas here that are glued up, you know what's going on. I can tell from the clothes you're wearing. You know what's going on. So that flag, Brandon, hold on, fella. So this flag, whānau, this flag was given to Hapu on the 20th of March, 1834, from a fellow called King William IV. Oh, well, yes.
Is his name down?
And back in 1834, Māori, you know, these days we're trading with cell phone, information, name, address, birthday. But back in 1834, we were trading with korowai, haunamu, taonga kuiho. And we were running the show, not the crowd. We were. This united us. This is what brought us together. Okay? On the 17th of August 1835, page 581 in the New South Wales Gazette, Queen Victoria recognised the Declaration of Independence of New Zealand. 1835, whakaputanga. This word whakaputanga you fellas all hearing, if you don't know what it is, it's an emergence. It's bringing two entities together to become one. Okay? Whakaputanga is a glue. A knife will cut your apple in half, but whakaputanga will put it back together. True story. Religion, money, sports, all divisive, all division. That's the Crown's intention. To drive a wedge between us and make us all fight over fronts. I finally jumped on that waka, kicked us out on the right. Can't talk. I'm the young fellow that's not listening to my aunties and uncles arguing. I'm that guy. I'm that one. Ask my aunties and uncles. I don't know. However, 5 years later they signed the treaty. The Treaty of Waitangi, the Treaty of Waitangi wasn't signed down in Tainui. It was signed Waitangi. Okay, well the point is we have come here to seek the support of non-sellers, non-settlers. That's why we're here. To seek the support of other people who do not wish to settle. And the reason why we reject the settlement is because we're here right now and we don't see tū horomoku. Ngāti Hau speaks for Ngāti Hau. Okay? Ngāti Hau's in the house. Ngāti Hau put on the clothes for us. Ngāti Hau welcomed us here. So Ngāti Hau is the host. Sorry. The point I know is to come here to tautoko Ngāti Hau in the rejection of settlement.
Marianne? Marianne?
I don't usually come to the speech to these meetings, but I always listen like in the back. In the back. All my money. And I believe that God we hasn't given their sovereignty us, neither have we. So I forgot what I'm going to say. I will definitely be going against I've already been to one of their meetings at Kakapuru Marae and told the people, we won't win our rights in Parliament, we'll win it outside. So I stand by the word of my father, Te Kupu Pātewa. I don't speak fluent Māori, but I'm watching what's going on all around the world and at home. And I believe we shouldn't sign the mandate of Ngā Hui. Even though the word has come to me, I don't know about Ngā Hui, Te Whare Tapu and all that, but it came to me. Ko Te Whare Tapu o Ngā Hui, me ngā uri whakaeke, o ngā mautere, putono ki te motu, tai roa ki te mona nui a kiwa, ko ngā uri whakaeke o Te Whare Tapu, or I haraina. Those words came to me, so it doesn't matter how my Hapu votes, we hold the trump card. Kia ora tātou.
It's all been said, what I wanted to say. And I just want to say to you, Jane and I went to school, as well as the rest of us, and most of the people that went to school with me do not speak Maori. Especially from our age, don't speak Maori. But today, I am looking at our young Turks coming up. And that's what I want to say, standing here, that you've got these new ones that have learned the clever ways that can fight for us and win this thing for us. And Hapu Hui will do it. I want to say I've been following because I've lived a happy life and a Pākehā life. It wasn't until 2016 that I actually started to go to the Waitangi Tribunal. And there I learnt how wrong we had been treated by the Crown. And I've been on it ever since. And I support everything that's been done. And I've been really praying to God about what's happening even today. And I'm really so proud to be here because, man, we've got some wonderful speakers in this room. Absolutely beautiful. And I'm so proud to be involved in it. And I've been going to the tribunal in Whangarei. And there was fighting. And you know what? On the back of our t-shirts, they've got Ngāti Hau leading the way. I have seen the young ones step out, and the older ones. We've got some real bitey ones in the country. You know, like the David and Violet and Leo and but they are listening at long last because the young ones are coming up, guiding the way. And today I just want to say, welcome. We come back home to you guys from Omanina. It's just so nice to meet you. So God bless us all as we vote no.
Tēnā rā koutou whānau, nā whaimatua, nā whaia, nā rangatahi, nā pīro. Tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou. Tēnā koutou, te taumata, o Hapu Hui, tēnā rā koutou, te aha mā wāhine, tū mai, I o mai, te taumata. That's where we're at today. I'm here to first of all say our young people have got the skills, they've got the knowledge, they've got the tohu, they've come back to say to Ngā Hui, we want to help to rebuild. And they've been told to sit down and shut up and go somewhere else. Well, I'm not going to be supporting anything like that, I never have done, and I'm not going to start now. Because the time is right for our younger ones, the 30s to the 50s, to get up and lead Ngā Hui. And it's time for the diehards to get off that table and stop pretending that you have got Ngā Hui to support. Thousands of dollars have gone into adverts in the papers and stuff like that to get this kaupapa over the line. I'm not supporting the way in which things have been done. I'm a direct descendant of Patuane, and proud. And don't tell me my tupuna don't belong to Ngāti Hau. You know, come on. We don't start uniting one another by saying your tupuna is down the road somewhere. We are here to celebrate and recognise the mana of our tupuna. They were the best scientists, they were the best negotiators. They travelled the world. When things weren't going right here with the Pākehās who first came, they didn't fight and carry on about it. They went direct to London to talk to the King. Read the letters that our tupuna wrote to those sovereign people in London and read the response that they were going to set up a government to look after the Pākehā and the Māori will look after the Māori. Read He Whakaputanga. Read Te Titi o Waitangi, the Māori version. Ngā Hui didn't sign that Pākehā version. That's a have, that is. It really is. But read them, take the time, and you tell me that we have a right to turn our backs on our tupuna. Our tupuna who left our waterways pristine, our bushes, our whenua, and everything is in one heck of a mess today. Why? Because they don't listen to anything from Māori. And it's got to a point where we don't hear from the Maori politicians today, or have you heard from them on the side? You know, anybody who's negotiating and filling their back pocket, you're going to get found out. Because I tell you what, this new minister, he's picked up the portfolio from National and continued on with a drive to settle Ngā Hui on the Crown's terms. On the Crown's terms. And I'm pleased that Ngāti Hau is again standing strong, like Ngāti Hau did with our tupuna. They stood strong. They were worldly knowledgeable in every way. You know, we had scientists, we had people who were doctors, who they were called, you know, all those Turunga, get rid of them. No, our people were not sickly people. They were people nurtured, loved, and given the best of health and the best of food by our tupuna to help us to be strong as Ngā Hui. And what are we doing today? We're afraid to put our gumboots on and walk across the paddock and talk to our neighbour. We'd sooner listen to the Pākehā lawyers and listen to the Pākehā ministers. For what reason? For what reason? Well, if you can tell me that you've got full control of our health, our waterways, our whānau, our whenua, and everything on it and under it, I'd like to see those people who think they've got full control of those things. We've now got the Minister of Forestry, the Minister for the Oceans, the Minister for this and that. Our people had all those things in place. They had them all, the Turunga, for all of those things. And I tell you, who's giving us a very strong message is Papa Tūnuku. She's erupting everywhere, not just here, but around the world. Papa Tūnuku has a message for us all. Sit down, listen to the message of Papa Tūnuku. You know, I've been involved with fighting for the right of Ngā Hui, based on my tupunas, things that they left for us, the taonga they left for us. My fight has been there and it hasn't wavered. And dare anybody, minister or otherwise, think they are going to make a change because they've got more dollars than us. They've got a real cheek to undermine the mana of our people, of Hau Hui and Ngāti Hau. Absolute cheek. So I want us to rethink this whole business, not just about one resolution. This whole thing has had so many changes. You know, there was Joe Williams, Maryland Court Judge, said to Sunday night, get out there and talk with the Kaumata and Queer. Hau Hui has a meeting and says to Sunday night, go and find out if the Kaumata and Queer want to do something about settlement. We did all those things, and I'll tell you what, it was a hard grind. But we didn't have 5 or 6 different committees with all different names and different kaupapa that he hadn't even heard about. You know, you've got these people sitting on the table who are pretending to be our advisors. They, excuse me, you know, not even Hau Hui and a cheek to think he's an advisor for me. No one will be our you know, get up and know that Hau Hui has a kaupapa, a strength and a mana that no other iwi has, and that's he whakaputanga. No other iwi. We're not just another iwi, as I've said. And we say, well, let's try sitting and talking to them. We've been talking to them for the last 150 years. What difference has it made? It's time for us to start talking and saying to them, hang on a minute, what does it mean for this government to honour he whakaputanga me te tūtia waitangi? Secondly, what does it mean for Hau Hui? We've never ever had that kōrero. To say to ourselves, if we were given the right and those kaupapa, he whakaputanga me te tūtia waitangi, if those were honoured next week, what would we do about it? Are we prepared for that? Are we? Have we had that kōrero? That's the kōrero that we need. Not running around when the government says jump. And when you're jumping or saying your prayers or whatever, they're still stealing off us. Okay? So I've got a very strong wairua to carry on fighting for justice for Hau Hui. Kia ora
And no, she had 2 speaking spots, somebody gave up their 5 minutes. It was actually right on the 10 minutes. So that we're not leaving anybody else who may well have thought, I have a original thought that hasn't actually been put down on here. Thank you very much to our scribe, who down here can have something that hasn't been put down or hasn't been said in the whare, that you have a burning desire to make known. This is your opportunity. And it's to do with the resolution 4 that is before us, before we move into the next stage, which is whether we're at a stage now to consider the actual decision making. Tui?
Kia ora, kua mai te mokopuna ko te pai a metua tuku pai tūpuna I moi ia wera ka arma ke tana o arma kakapi o ko hariata rongo Today I'm speaking for my family, and I think it's obvious I'm probably in the minority in the room. I'm a yes, and I'm a yes because I'll probably be a yes to the next one too. because I'm voting for change. And so if you leave aside the tūhoromoku, the turunanga i o Hau Hui, the personalities, I prefer to focus on the proposal, and to me the proposal offers an opportunity, not for one chance, having one chance, but actually there's several opportunities to have a say within it. If you should vote yes, it doesn't mean it's yes all the way, and we're not at the table yet. Yeah, after all these years of mamae, we're not at the table yet. We're talking to ourselves. I'm going to make it clear too, my day job, I work for the Crown. I work for Te Puni Kōkiri, I'm the regional manager. So I just want that to be clear, but today I'm here as a very proud uri o Ngāti Hau. And that's Ngāti Hau ki Whakapara and Ngāti Hau ki Whanganui. So I just wanted to say that there are opportunities. Should it go yes, that at any time, up until agreement in principle, Ngāti Hau can withdraw. Ngāti Hau can withdraw. The other thing is, I know I'm going to get killed again about the commercial stuff. If it's worked out properly, my understanding is that there is opportunity to put conditions around how that commercial redress is carved out before the settlement is made. Before the settlement is made. The other point I want to make is someone talked about mai tahu. You know, it might seem like a small thing, but the other day someone said to me her moko had just received a day starting pack for school on the first day of school. So every mai tahu tamariki that starts school on the first day, they receive a full pack that has shoes, that has coats and all those kinds of things. Also, Ngāi Tahu's been getting their millions topped up with more millions as people settle. And the other thing about the money is not about the money, it's about the opportunity that it can provide for our people. So that compounding, that money still sitting in the Crown coffers, it isn't earning interest for you. It's not earning interest for you, it's staying in the Crown coffers. So that's what I want to say. My whānau, I'm speaking for them today. My brother Ben would usually speak for our whānau, but he can't be here today. So, no reira, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou.
Remembering we're making new points, whānau, and you can see that what the original here is now up there.
I'm going to say, I guess there's tui for these reasons. Right up until the AIP, you can pull out. If we're not in the discussion, we don't have a chance of saying yes or no to anything. I guess that's right with tui. I agree with Auntie T. We've got to get out on the road and let our young people come through and do this work for us. Because they're clear-headed, they don't have the baggage, and they're thinking about the bigger picture. So I support that as well. The point, one of the points here is, if this doesn't go through, Tūhoranoti still has a mandate. Anyway, they still have a mandate. So there's still a mandate here. So now what? Now you've got a chance, we have a chance to be involved, we have a say, to sit at the table, say yes or no. That's the opportunity we have here. We just go away and say, no, I don't want to be involved in this court. That's okay too, but it's not going to get us in the discussion. The other thing is, when you look at a settlement and the commercial side of it and what it could give us, it could give us insurers, health insurers. We don't have to be here at home, we don't have to have our whenua, because a lot of us don't. A lot of us do not have our whenua. But it is something that a settlement can give us, is that health insurance for life. We don't have that opportunity to cut ourselves off. If those of you who are sitting in here saying, no, that can't happen, anything's possible. Anything is possible. But it's not if we cut ourselves out.
So I'm connected to Ngāti Kau, I'm also connected to Katuharakeke, and I've been on that trust board for about 12 years up until recently. And I remember I think the memorial lands are very important. I remember we opposed the sale of the powerful land at Marsden Point. It cost us a lot in legal fees. We held the sale up for 2 years, but we didn't get the whenua back. We've been to lots of litigation down there, and Ben knows we used to cap exactly where the Marsden Point refinery is as kids, and we used to get all that kaimuana out of there. And you talk about unity, well, we had an iwi that stepped over us in terms of the Marsden Point new what they're projecting to do down there. And then they got 300,000, and then they came a few weeks ago to apologise. Well, quite frankly with me it doesn't sit very well. So I am going to vote no to this, but and that's just on my experiences through being on the Katuharakeke trust board, because there's lots going on down there.
New point. I'm Lisa Davies, my dad is George Davies, my daughter is Rita. Why I'm going to vote Hau Hui is that I have a claim that not only Ngāti Wai but Hapu took without asking me. They took it without asking me. For me, that's next. Why did they not come and ask me? I lost lands, but nobody's come to ask me what my claim was about. So I'm saying, Taipua, I'm waiting for stage 3 report to come out, because I went to the tribunal and I put my case to them, and I want to know what they have to say. This is so rushed that it puts me at risk, my father at risk, my whānau at risk, my uri at risk, because I don't know what the stage 2 report's going to say about my land and the legislation that the Māori Land Court did to outdo me on my land, my father's land. So, does the leadership know about my claim? No. Did Ngāti Wai know about my claim? No. So I will always vote Hau Hui until I get the report. That's why I stand. It's on principle. We're landless at Whakapara. We're landless because of the legislation. So I stand today to say Hau Hui. So where am I? I'm on my mother's land. My father would love to go home, but there's nothing there for him. So if you all want to vote yes, great, good on you, because you extinguish all my rights. My rights to know what the court is going to say about the legislation that took my father's, my whānau's land. So thank you very much if you all vote yes. It will extinguish all the rights that we have here in Whangarei. We have so much to lose here in Whangarei. So much to lose. So yes, all vote yes, yeah. Whangarei gets extinguished. All the fight that our whānaus have fought for through the courts is going to be gone. And do I trust the leaders? No, I don't. I'm saying it out front. I don't trust those leaders. The so-called leaders that have been leading us. Well, he's not my leader. Here's my dad. He's my leader. This is who I follow. 85 years on this earth. This is who I follow. So don't talk to me about, yes, you know, you're going to get this, you're going to get that. Well, I've lost land. And it hurts. Okay? That's mine.
New point. I think I'm going to heed to all the speakers so far, and I do want to acknowledge the passion and the wairua of the study really moved because that's the reality of the breaches of Te Tiriti. So maybe to you also. I want to go back to the resolution.
Yeah, aye.
Okay, so there's been talk about commercial and what that could provide for us. There's been talk about the many amazing things that could be experienced by our people if we were to go through, negotiate, leverage off everything we've got to get a deal with the Crown now. But I want to point out some key words in this resolution, and they are the parts that don't sit right with me. Comprehensive settlement for all historical claims and Crown breaches of Te Tiriti or Waitangi. If the wording said, that we were going for, we were supporting a negotiation structure which was to tackle many issues, but not all the issues that we've inherited by the Crown Acts, then I would be saying yes under this mandate. But this mandate doesn't protect te whakaputanga. This mandate doesn't protect the stage 1 findings. They are the platforms which our generation had to leverage off. This resolution undermines, because we know the Crown is not ready to address stage 1. So I just want to say, everyone's aspirations in Kōrero is so relevant, and we are in a hurry because we know what can be done. But my kaore lies in the comprehensive settlement of all historical claims. We have the stage 1 findings to leverage on. That's what I want to reserve for my children. That's what I want to reserve for me in the rest of my life, is the opportunity to work that one out. Kia ora.
Okay, Lee, do you have another point to make with it? Yes. As long as it's a new one, you're
Settlement. Reparation. Now here's the difficulty you're having with it. And also to clarify Crown. Which part of the Crown we actually had moved here. But it's too much stuff, you know. My point is this. If the whakaputanga has no bearing for you, vote yes. If Te Tiriti o Waitangi has no bearing for you, vote yes. If you're sick and tired of your sovereignty, vote yes. And you know, I think we can make all these words go around and around. I think, Nana, we just have to have a calm heart. Thank you for your kōrero, Nana. Just have a calm heart. Be silent. Think clearly. Make your yes be yes and your no be no.
Following on, John. This is my cousin John, and I hope he's coming forward with a new formula.
Kia ora everybody. I'm not really renowned for speaking in front of crowds, but I thought it's best I put my views across here. I see the word crown. Now, does that mean the crown you wear on your head? Or are we talking about a corporate crown? Now, for those who go behind the scenes, if you go onto the computer system, you type in the New Zealand government, it masquerades itself as Her Majesty the Queen of Right. And it's based in New York on the Stock Exchange Commission as a corporation, a for-profit corporation. So my question in here is it corporates who are actually wanting to settle this so they can continue making profit? The very word Her Majesty the Queen of Right does not mean the physical queen, flesh and blood. Her Majesty the Queen of Right have taken her name and have misused it to misappropriate what's been going on today. So in a political sense, does the government exist? Because if you look on the Stock Exchange Commission, it's registered under Her Majesty the Queen of Right, a for-profit corporation based in America.
Can we bring your thoughts to...
So the question I'm asking is, I don't believe the New Zealand government exists because it actually registers on the stock exchange in America as a for-profit corporation, and they're using the mandate of the Queen, Her Majesty the Queen of Right, to seek out each and every one of us. The question I want to know, is this a corporate crown treaty claim, or is it Queen Elizabeth, the physical queen? What? Please determine the word crown.
I'm not sure that we're going to be able to solve that one today. They are a question and ones that have got a bigger scope than what we are looking at today. And it's certainly a discussion that's ongoing, and you're right to raise it in front of your Hapu, John. And for that, I'm not putting off, I'm just saying you start to think about those things that have been put by everybody here. You've all got thinking brains, you all listen to the court. You need to put together the parts that resonate with you before you make the decision or take part in the decision. And we've had a spectrum of cordial. And I think that at this moment, I'm sensing that we're ready to go into the decision making. Kapai. Great. Kapai, so we are going to have a look one more time to the resolution as it's written here. And I'm now going to ask for those in favour of this resolution. If you're in favour of the evolved mandate as set out in the information book to represent all of Ngā Puhi, including Ngā Hapu or Ngā Puhi in negotiations with the Crown for the comprehensive settlement of all historical claims and Crown breaches of Te Tiriti o Waitangi. Now this is if you are saying yes. If you are saying yes, please raise your cards now. No, wait on. No. Ko-korero, we're taking yes. Hapai. So this is where you get to let go of your card. So keep your cards up in the air so we take them. This will be a yes vote. All those voting yes, please hand yours to the scrutineer. Yes, fine.
Do you have any of that information for us?
13 voted yes.
Order, please.
So now we're going to those who are against or who are voting no, please raise your hand and your cards will be collected.
Make sure you keep holding them up. If they're not collected, they're not counted.
I need to call for abstentions. Anyone abstain from this particular vote? This resolution, any abstentions? None. Okay, so after we've got the final result, then it will be returned to the taumata. It will be returned to the taumata. Now, the taumata.
E mihi ana ki te kōrero I whariki hia ki roto ki tō tātou whare, ko te reo te iwi I rangona I puta I te rangi nei. Tēnei au ka mihi, ka mihi, ka mihi. Ka mihi ki a koutou a kuhuanga, a aku karangatanga e a kūri o Ngāti Hau. A kua tūkotahi ai, ko whakaputa ai, I o tātou whakaro, ai runga I nui te aroaro I te rangi nei. Nō reira ko ngā kupu whakamutunga hei kapi tā tātou huihuinga. Ko ki atu rā ki o koutou wā kāinga, I runga I te rangi Mārie, Garo hoki ngā manaakitanga o te rungano, o te rungaroa mana no tātou e manaaki e tiaki. A tāria te wā no tātou ki a tātou. A tēnā tātou, tēnā koutou e ngā kai hapai ko tātou kaupapa, e arahi nei, e kōpiko nei tā tātou hui, e ai te kaupapa I te rangi nei. Ano te rangatira o tō tātou hui. Tēnā tātou I te āhuatanga o tā tātou noho. O reira, koina tātou, koina mai te taumata, mai tēnei whānau o pēhi auiri, tēnā koutou ki ora hui hui mai anō tātou katoa, hei hime nei whakamutunga whakaaria mai tau ripe kā ki ai. Ngā reo whakawhetai ki mua I tau aroaro tapu. Nā wanoi arataki I arahina I a mātou roto I te mātou huikuinga. E hoe inoi tonu ana te ngā koe ki a koe ka tau tonu tori ngā manaaki, tori ngā arataki ki runga ki a mātou, e hoki nei ki o mātou kāinga. Kua ki nā maira ngā rori ki a tai ora whaiai ki o mātou whānau, ki o mātou tamariki, ki o mātou mokopuna. E hoa ko koe kei mua, kei muri, kei ngā tātai a mātou ngā wakatoa. Pa mātou koe arataki roto I tauata whai, roto I tauaroha noa. Tēnei anō mātou ko ngā wahine ko noa tāne te whakaoki nei ngā reo whakamoimiti atu ki a koe. Whakamanatia I nei inoi roto te inoi tapu te inua kaha o tō tātou kei whakaora, kei ukraiti, e ora nei, e mana nei mō ngā tauputunga kore. Gloria ki tō ingoa tapu. Āmine. Kia ora tātou. Hei!